guys? Crypto Muser here with your daily news and analysis in the crypto markets. Now, I saw this headline and I thought this was great. So a lot of people have been complaining about the crypto market. A lot of politicians, regulators, been saying, $1 trillion wiped out of the crypto market in 5-6 months. I mean, this is a highly volatile asset class. I mean, how can we, we have to come in with regulation because this is bad for investors. And then I saw this and I was like, oh yeah, 1 trillion? $7.5 trillion has been wiped out of the stock market in 2022 in the last 5-6 months. But they say crypto is volatile. I mean, let's be real. It hasn't just been the crypto market. It's been the stock market as well. And honestly, the stock market has looked like the crypto market the first couple of months of this year. I mean, let's look at this real quick. John Deaton tweeted this out. But Gary Gensler says a spot Bitcoin ETF is too risky for retail investors, and he must protect us from such risk. Now, if a spot ETF is too risky, but the stock market is, there's no risk in putting money in the stock market, right? I mean, look at this. This is Ryan Selkis. Bitcoin is down 57% from its all-time high. In other words, it's holding up better than Netflix, Block, PayPal, DoorDash, Palantir, Pinterest, Snowflake, Spotify, Zoom, Zillow, Peloton, Opendoor, and DocuSign in this market correction. So you're telling me it's not safe to invest your money in crypto, but it is safe to invest your money in the stock market at this state and time? I mean, obviously, consistent in the past, obviously the stock market has been way less volatile, but in the last 5 months, I mean, it's looked very similar, right? I mean, you really can't argue with that. But Gary Gensler keeps saying that a spot ETF is too risky for everyday investors. But a futures ETF, that's fine, right? This makes no sense. They can't keep saying this. It's a wild world right now. I mean, I look at things for sure in a more macro side. I try to look at the stock market. I look at the commodities markets. I look at the crypto market. I'm highly diversified. I have a little bit of stock, mostly in crypto, but I have a little bit of stock, little tech stocks or whatever. But I mean, the reason why we get into crypto is for that volatility, right? I mean, if the volatility wasn't there in crypto, there wouldn't be those gains that we always see. But on the other hand, you have these regulators, like especially the SEC, trying to say that it's too volatile, it's too risky for everyday investors, and they're trying to protect us, right? The accredited investor rules, they're protecting us from risking our hard-earned money, right? That's what they're there for. I mean, it's the most BS thing I've ever heard. And I just, I saw these couple tweets and I was like, do people even know this? A lot of people just invest in crypto and don't even look at the stock market. But if you've been looking at the stock market during this crash that we've had in the last couple of months with crypto, it's been, we've been so correlated. The stock market and crypto market are very much correlated usually, but especially in the last 5-6 months, it's been like spot on. And look at that list, those list of companies. I mean, Peloton was down like 95% or something like that. So don't tell me that crypto is too risky for us investors, right? Don't say you're trying to protect us from these risky volatile assets, because that is BS. I really can't stand the SEC. I mean, obviously, you know that if you've been watching this channel at all, I cannot stand the SEC, and you shouldn't either. So I saw this tweet. Eleanor Tourette, she is a Fox Business reporter, and she's been, keeping up to date in the Ripple versus SEC lawsuit. She actually took a crypto class a couple months ago. She's trying to educate herself in the space so she can better cover the crypto space. I mean, that's the best thing a journalist can do, right? Get better educated in the topic that they're going to do stories on, right? I mean, duh. I mean, a shout out to Eleanor Tourette for educating herself, because a lot of journalists out there will write stories about crypto and they don't even know what blockchain is. It's like, give me a break. At least, educate yourself in the basics, at least, right? But Eleanor Tourette, she actually took a blockchain course. I think it was a 3-month course. And she now better understands the technology. So obviously she can better understand what's going on in the space. So she said she was going to come up, get better up to date in what was happening in the SEC versus Ripple lawsuit. And this is what she came out with a couple days ago. Regarding SEC versus Ripple, I think I'm pretty much up to speed now. The biggest takeaways from this I see, number one, the whole commission, except Clayton, was left off the 68 drafts of the Hinman speech. Charles Gasparino and I reported that Clayton actually gave input on the speech before delivery. Now think about that for a second. You're telling me you're going to give a speech where never in the history of the SEC have they actually talked about a specific coin. So this is a first speech. They're going to talk about, Bitcoin and Ether not being securities. And you're telling me the only one that's going to give any input in that speech is just one commissioner out of the four? Are you serious? I mean, does that make any sense at all? So the only one was Jay Clayton. So you didn't want to think about Crypto Mom, right? Hester Peirce. No. Hester Peirce, Crypto Mom, she doesn't need to see the speech. Alan Roisman, the other commissioner. No, she doesn't need to see the speech. And I forget who the other commissioner at the time was, but you're telling me before the SEC is going to finally mention two coins and say they're not securities, you're not going to run that by all the commissioners in the SEC? Does that make any sense to you? No, doesn't make any sense to me either. Now, moving on, she says, the Ethics Council, Minton and Serrano, who warned Hinman about this financial conflict of interest with matters regarding Simpson, Thatcher, and Bartlett, was also left off the email distribution list. So you're telling me that the three commissioners were left off, 3 out of the 4 commissioners were left off, and Minton and Serrano, the ethics office was left off too? They didn't want to talk about the fact that the guy that was giving the speech was taking $15 million from Simpson, Thatcher, and Bartlett, which just happened to be highly invested in Ethereum? They didn't want to run that by the ethics office before he gave the speech? I wonder why. Number 3, Tamara Brightwell was on the email list. At that time, Brightwell was a deputy chief counsel in the Division of Corporate Finance Office of Chief Counsel. According to the documents obtained by Empower Oversight, Hinman deferred to her on screening for any conflicts of interest that might involve Simpson, Thatcher, and Bartlett, or any other past connections. I reached out to Brightwell to confirm that she reviewed the speech. I wonder if she'll get back from that. I'm sure she won't. Number 4, Simpson, Thatcher, and Bartlett, as a member of the Ethereum Alliance, pays up to $15,000 a year to have access to inclusive content and contracts in the Ethereum ecosystem. As a member of the former and future firm with these ties, wouldn't Hinman's speech declaring Ethereum not a security and subsequently the price of ETH soaring qualify him as participating personally and substantially in a matter that would have a direct and predictable effect on Simpson, Thatcher, and Bartlett? Obviously. Wouldn't that be a conflict of interest? Maybe? No? I guess not. Number 5, if Hinman did catch this, shouldn't someone at the SEC ethics department have? It would be interesting to see if the SEC responds to Empower Oversight's request for an investigation into its ethics officials. I mean, bravo to Eleanor Tourette to come out with this tweet thread, because, I mean, think about it. A journalist from Fox Business looks at the facts, and this is what she comes up with. Are we all conspiracy theorists because we've been saying this for the last couple weeks, months or so? No, this is a journalist. This is she's not an XRP holder. She's not, she has nothing against Ethereum or the SEC. She's just seeing things in black and white. This is the facts. She's stating the facts. I mean, how is there not an investigation over all these conflicts of interest? Will there be an investigation? I very much hope so. I mean, at this point, I've said this many times on this channel. If there is not an investigation, I have zero faith in the system. I think it's a total corrupt system, and that there's nothing else we can do, because if there's not an investigation when there's such blatant corruption and such blatant conflicts of interest, I don't know what would cause for an investigation at this point. So John Deaton even says Hester Peirce admitted conflicts screening is important and must be managed. SEC officials, including Hester, never discuss specific projects or tokens. After the Hinman speech, the SEC, including Hinman and Clayton, refused to comment on any other tokens. It all begs the question, right? It all begs the question. Why give Ethereum the free pass? They've never mentioned another token. You've never, and even this administration with Gary Gensler, they won't even mention Ethereum or Bitcoin. So you're telling me this administration and the past administration never mentioned a particular token, right? And when they finally do, when Hinman gives that speech, there was supposedly 63 emails and 68 drafts of that speech. I mean, you're telling me that, and let's put it this way, it was his own personal opinion, right? If it's his own personal opinion, why is so many drafts? Why there's 63 emails? Why is he sending his personal opinion, so-called, out to all these different people to comment on and to change the speech out? I mean, if all these different people had personal input in this speech, how the hell is it his own personal opinion, right? And you're telling me they go through all this time and effort with all these people, all these drafts and all these emails. It was obviously a big deal when they came out with the speech, but they just happened not to give it to the other three commissioners of the SEC to ask for their input. I mean, it boggles the mind just to think about it, right? It makes no sense at all. How is this, if the judge is looking at this, is she not thinking, I mean, obviously it's not his personal opinion. Look at all this input. And don't you think it's kind of shady that the other three commissioners didn't even see the speech? Oh, wait, but it's his own personal opinion. What? This all makes no sense. Let's be real. Just look at it. Use your common sense here. Does this make any sense? No. Let's move on. So, the CFTC and the SEC need to get their shit together. These regulators in the U.S. are just hurting innovation in this country, and it's painful to hear them speak. I'm not even going to play this video because I just watched it 5 minutes ago, and it's just irking me to watch. I don't watch it again. He just talks about, hey, commodities are regulated by the CFTC, and securities should be regulated by the SEC. No shit. Yeah, we know. CFTC, commodities, SEC, securities. Yes, we know that. Well, why don't you figure out what each coin is? Some of these coins have been out for 7, 8 years, 10 years. If you want to, it's like you guys can't figure out if they're commodities or securities yet. Every other country around the world has figured it out, but for some reason the U.S. keeps saying that it's so hard to, figure out the regulation with the space. So Squawk Box, it says, I could say for sure, or this is the chairman of the CFTC says, I could say for sure that Bitcoin is a commodity, and I think it makes a lot of sense if each agency has jurisdiction over commodities and securities respectively. Now, let's see what John Deaton said about this. I'm so sick and this is how I felt about it. I'm so sick and tired of hearing U.S. regulators and bureaucrats stating how difficult it is to do their jobs. It really isn't that difficult. The UK's FCA, that regulates securities and other financial instruments, has tackled the issue. Japan's FSA has tackled the issues. ICOs, the SEC should be involved. Tokens traded for a decade that you can stake, CFTC. I mean, it's that simple. I mean, the SEC has stated many times, they've never seen an ICO that was a securities offering. Guess what? Guess who had an ICO? Oh, yeah, Ethereum. But Ethereum is a commodity now because in Bill Hinman's speech, he said something can be a security and they get more decentralized and become a non-security, right? And become a commodity. You could say the same thing about XRP, couldn't you? And guess what? XRP didn't have an ICO. So boom, and it's been traded for years. And guess what? You can stake it. And guess what? You can use XRP and buy security. Does that make it a security? I can use my XRP and go on Link2 and buy Ripple shares. So you tell me I can use a security. So a security can be used to buy another security? I mean, come on, guys. Let's be real. This is ridiculous. Moving on. So I saw this tweet, had to shoot this out there because there's been, obviously, since UST, the Terra Luna and all this fiasco, I saw this from Crypto Whale and I was like, ooh, it doesn't look too good. So breaking, New York Supreme Court has rejected Tether's petition to block the public from receiving documents detailing the composition of Tether's reserves over the past few years. Why would they want to try to keep that hidden from the public? I wonder. I mean, guys, if Tether blows up, right? If Tether blows up, what do you think that's going to do to the market? A lot of people say, oh, maybe it might not do anything. People will just move their money to USDC or something else. I wouldn't bet on it. I wouldn't bet on it. I'm pretty sure that, Tether's been propping up the market, just like the Fed's been propping up the stock market. And what I know, or what I think I know, has been what's been happening with Tether. If Tether something were to happen with Tether, it would be detrimental to this market. So let's just pray that nothing happens. Let's just pray that. I think we all know something shady is going on with Tether. I think we've known it. If you've been in this space long enough, you know it for a long time now. So, touchy subject here. I'm not going to get more into it, but you guys be the judge. We'll see what happens. The last thing I want to mention on this video is this. Linda P. Jones put this out there, and I thought this was huge. And everybody should figure this out, because if you're in this space, I know it seems like there's a lot of people in this space, because if you're on crypto Twitter or on YouTube, you feel like you're interacting with a lot of people, but you have to realize we're still so early in this space, guys. We are early, she says. Fun fact, this is Watcher Guru, only 4.5% of the entire global population are invested in cryptocurrency, guys. 4.5%. You know how small that is? We're still early, guys. Just slow your roll, dollar cost average, be patient, and just wait. Sit on your hands. I know, just live your life. I know it's hard right now. The world is a crazy place right now. Be patient, guys. Things don't happen overnight in this space, especially in crypto. If you be patient, if you are patient, if you look at a monthly chart, this thing only keeps going up. 4.5% of the entire global population is invested in cryptocurrency. What do you think that's going to be in 5 to 10 years? Double, triple, quadruple, 15, 20%? I mean, guys, let's be real. If you've been in this space long enough, you know where this is going. Be patient. And I got your back, guys. I'll try to put more videos as much as I can to give you guys this information. Please like, subscribe, and leave a comment down below. But remember, I'm not a financial advisor. Please do not take anything I write or say as financial advice. This is for educational purposes only. And thanks, guys, and we will see you on the next one.